Have you ever tried to fight against a concept? Can you fight against hope, for example? Or can you overcome fear? To really understand what cosmic armor Superman is, or the thought robot, to be more exact, we have to look at him in terms that aren't tied to the physical, but conceptual. This is one of the few times I'll ever use the term outerversal, because this is the dimension where the cosmic armor exists, in a realm meant to supervise the multiverse. And if that doesn't make any sense, let's get confused together. Welcome back to Fernando Comics, everyone. Today we're going to try to make sense of cosmic armor Superman. Cosmic armor Superman comes up all the time on this side of the internet, but very rarely do people take the time to explain exactly what he, or it, to be more accurate, is. Because to even activate the cosmic armor is a ritual that can't be replicated by Superman alone. It's also only been included in 2 issues, Final Crisis Superman Beyond number 1 and 2 by Grant Morrison. And as such, it's a tie-in miniseries to the Final Crisis event, where Darkseid's death causes him to fall through the multiverse, damaging it. Now, during this event, Superman gets targeted by a herald of Darkseid named Libra, who, wanting to prove that he should lead the League of Supervillains, takes a challenge from Lex Luthor to hurt Superman. So he detonates a bomb at the Daily Planet, basically on top of Lois Lane. She was so hurt that she was at death's door, and Superman didn't have anything that could help her. He was in fact only keeping her alive with an infrared massage to her heart. If he stopped, she dies. In this moment, Superman put out a bargain to the universe that he would do anything to save her. Superman didn't know it, but the universe was being listened to very closely, and Zillo Valla, one of the 52 monitors, appears to offer him a chance to save Lois if Superman helped her to beat back the coming doom of the multiverse. That doom was named Mandrakk, the Dark Monitor. Knowing Superman couldn't leave his wife's side though, she freezes time momentarily to let Superman join her. If they succeed, Superman will have access to the ultimate medicine, which can bring Lois back. This entire story will take place in the space of a single heartbeat from Lois Lane, and it hasn't even started yet. Zillo had a plan to stop Mandrakk that required 5 champions. Superman from our world, Ultraman, Superman's evil antimatter counterpart, Captain Marvel from Universe 5, Quantum Superman, who's a Dr. Manhattan-like variant, and last but not least, 1930s Superman who landed in occupied German territory. So he's known as Übermensch, or Superman in German. All 5 of them have a role to play, and without them, Zillo Valla's plan won't work, which means that the multiverse will soon collapse, because Mandrakk plans to drink it dry. But who is Mandrakk? Well, he's the first monitor, known as Dax Novo at the time, the one who noticed the multiverse spring into existence and decided to investigate. The problem was, Mandrakk came from a place so different from the multiverse, he essentially went insane upon witnessing our universes. His perfect and undisturbed mind was not ready for the story of the multiverse, and he took it in all at once, corrupting him permanently and turning him into a cosmic vampire who wants to drain the multiverse into nothing. How did that happen? Why a vampire? Why does he want sustenance? Because the story needs it to be that way. Shh. Don't think about it. Thus, Dax Novu becomes Mandrakk. But before Mandrakk fell completely to corruption, he made sure the multiverse would have a fighting chance against him. He created a defender for the multiverse, and it was based on what Mandrakk saw as the ultimate protector and symbol of hope in every universe. With what's described as divine metals, a robot powered by thought was created, in the shape of Superman. Mandrakk's last act as Monitor created a defense system to protect the multiverse from what he became. Mandrakk is the concept of ruin, hunger, violence, destruction, anti-life, etc., existing in a higher plane than the multiverse, with direct access to it. This story goes levels, guys, upon levels of ideas and concepts that aren't always tangible. But we do know he is the threat of all threats. And this is the role of the cosmic armor specifically, to guard the multiverse against him. Mandrakk was then locked away behind a sealed door by the other monitors, who had started to get similar corruption to his own. The door would hold as long as it could, but when the timer went off, the cosmic armor had to be ready. Activating it, though, was going to be its own problem. Zillo Valla's plan was for Ultraman to come into physical contact with Superman, because once the two collide, a huge explosion of power between matter and antimatter would happen. And she then needed Quantum Superman to guide these energies into the higher plane of existence, the Overvoid, or the Outerverse as they say, where the monitor race exists directly supervising the multiverse. That was a mouthful. But with the combustion of energies between Superman and Ultraman fused and contained, Quantum Superman did use them to activate the Thought Robot, and he gave control of it to Superman, while making Ultraman a background voice in the mind of the robot. Mandrakk's mind split apart, and thus the armor requires duality turned into symmetry between good and evil to function and activate. So Superman's body isn't in the cosmic armor. He, in fact, was not in the same plane of existence as the cosmic armor, and he cannot enter it under his own power. Without Zillo Valla's plan, there was no way to activate it. But it did activate right on time to see Mandrakk's doomsday clock hit 0. Holding the ultimate medicine in his claws, the one thing that can save Lois's life, Superman needs to beat Mandrakk to take it. Both of these characters, Mandrakk and Cosmic Armor Superman, exist more as concepts as they do physical beings, the way we think of them. And thus, this battle between the two was more of a battle between hope and ruin than between two beings. But if we boil it down to its most basic components, this was a fight between good and evil, as concepts themselves, and which one would ultimately prevail. The cosmic armor is described as a thought robot capable of adapting instantly to counter any future threat. A sentinel suit designed for a single purpose, to protect existence against the ultimate enemy. It should be unstoppable. But when Mandrakk emerged, this happens. Mandrakk is overwhelming Superman completely. A beam of white-hot energy followed by the heat of 10 billion suns all at once, and Superman drops to the ground. The armor is bleeding and damaged, and Superman is struggling to move. The word Lois is the only one on his lips while he's trying to get up. And Zillo Valla sees Superman's struggle, and she knows she needs to intervene. She gets Mandrakk's attention and reminds him that his existence is based on their belief, and that Superman's story will always be stronger than his. Mandrakk doesn't even take the time to look. He just strikes, and he silences her forever. It's only then that he sees who he killed. Because you see, Zillo Valla and Superman both had the same goal that day. They wanted to save the one they loved. Zillo Valla was Mandrakk's, or more precisely, Dax Novu's partner, before he fell to madness. Seeing what he'd done, Mandrakk snaps out of his insanity for just a moment of grief, before raging against Superman, unable to cope with what he did. The story of ruin and madness grows even stronger. But Superman also saw what he did, and the story of hope and justice grows even stronger than that. As it would have with any innocent, Zillo's murder inspires Superman to fight again. And this time, Superman's beating him back. Mandrakk gets stronger in response to Superman's new power, and Superman increases again to match it. The two of them are growing more powerful by the second. The cosmic armor is the only one between Mandrakk and the multiverse, and Mandrakk keeps coming. The suit is starting to fail. Superman can't put Mandrakk down without killing him, and that is where Ultraman's part in the plan comes in. Ultraman's essence reminds Superman, this creature is not alive. He is anti-life taken form. He's madness taken form. And with that knowledge, the cosmic armor pierces Mandrakk's chest. And with a final burst of heat vision, it blows its own eyes out to push Mandrakk off the edge of reality and into the overvoid's nothingness. With that, the armor completes its purpose and breaks down permanently. The battle damaged it beyond repair, but it didn't need to exist anymore, because Mandrakk was defeated. Cosmic Armor Superman is as strong as it needed to be to fight the ultimate threat to existence. If he's too weak, he gets stronger to match it. But it's not a weapon that can ever be used on demand, and even then it has its own limits since it stopped working after the fight with Mandrakk. If not all of that makes sense, I don't blame you. It doesn't make sense to me either, guys. I read through this for hours, and I translated German. That is a real thing. But Superman won, and he came back to our world, and he saved his wife. The story of Infinite Crisis is huge and crazy and full of trust me bro moments, but what we do know is that when it came down to it, when the ultimate evil pushed on the ultimate good, good found a way to win. Thank you for watching, everyone. I read all of Final Crisis, the tie-ins. Like I said, I translated some German for the video. It was a really good series. It was worth your time if you ever get the chance to read it yourself. You should all come and talk about that, or anything you like, in the Discord with me. I made a new one, and I'll leave that link in the description along with my email, so you can tell me if you happen to see a duck in this video. We will chat more later, my friends, in the next video. See ya.
I spent